Mortis.
Oh, on the edge.
Warning: the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Welcome to Everything Yet Nothin. Here's a hillbilly in eyeshadow who's looking fabulous and talking about anything yet something. Get ready to chew on a blade of sweet grass and talk about a variety of LGBTQ topics to the lifestyle of a gay hillbilly. Watch out, folks. These hills don't just got eyes. They got themselves a vodcast. Now, here's T-Roy.
Hey, welcome to Everything Yet Nothing. You never know what you're going to see. But this week we have a gentleman named Michael, aka Mike, and he is an author. And he also is a singer, and he does chef, educator, tailor, mechanic, traveler, and an innovator. So that is Mike, and I cannot wait to learn exactly what he does in every bit of that. And he has a story that is one beautiful story that needs to be told, that should have been told years and years ago. And I think that if it would have been told years and years ago, times would be totally different today. And it would be on a most definite positive that should be in this world. I'm always about LGBT and equality and diversity, and this gentleman is absolutely 100% that. He has a story of a young young boy, growing up in a small town. And, he went through some stuff. Like, I personally went through some stuff because I was raised in a small town, a very small town. And there's a lot of closed minded, just egotistical, ignorant individuals that shouldn't be that way because they don't realize it, I don't think, because they don't look at themselves in the mirror like they should. I mean, they should probably do a lot of stuff in the mirror when they do look at themselves.
I was watching Hocus Pocus 2, and this guy, makes fun of and bullies all these people. And he didn't realize there was bullying when you push or pointed out someone else's differences and then thought they were funny.
Yeah.
But that's bullying, guys.
And he was, what was he? A jock. Well, yeah, I got that one down. No, didn't you? So, it has been rainy for the last couple of days. It comes and goes. I swear it's bipolar because 1 minute it's all sunny, like you can lay out and get a suntan, and then the others you're shivering and things are shivering, and yeah, it's not pretty.
Things are shivering or shriveling?
Both. Oh. And so, oh my gosh, we are getting ready to go to Pittsburgh, Kansas, which I've never been in my whole entire life.
Not true.
Well, that I remember or whatever. He's totally not there, so don't listen to him. He's probably remembering stuff that I don't remember.
We've been through it.
Oh.
I guess through it and to it are two totally different things.
Just love it. Gotcha. So anyways, going to go up there to Pussy Willow Productions, which is a VIP party, and it is one hell of a good time. There's going to be drag queens, drag genies, and just all types of performers and singers and
It's a variety show.
Yeah, it's a variety show. And so I get to go out there because they're signing me on to travel next year as a performer with them on the weekends, which I am so stoked and I'm so excited because they actually seen me in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I got up totally out of nowhere. I so did not plan to do any of it. And this lady's all like, I'm going to have them to put you up there. And I was all like, okay, well, no. And she was all like, well, why not? And she was like, I said, because I just don't want to like go there.
No, you said because I don't do that.
Or I don't do that.
I don't lip sync.
Yeah. And so I got up there and I actually saw them. And they were like totally at all. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And they were like totally, oh my God, we got to have you. We want you part of our team, part of our production. We want you to travel with us. We want to show the world that we can show in our own LGBTQ plus world just who you are and put you out there even more. And, you know, he went on, and I'm my worst critic, just like
It's
anybody
no
else.
surprise to me he is his own
And-
worst enemy.
I am. I totally am. Like, right now, I'm saying that I'm beautiful. I'm thinking I'm fabulous. So, horrible. Been working on my next show, which is going to be T-Roy is Coming to You, and that is going to be me going to individuals and learning about them, what they do, and they're going to stick me into a position that they do job-wise, and you never know what that is going to be. And let me tell you, I got some funny stuff in my head that is going to happen. And you gotta see it. I'm just going to say it's high heels and prettiness.
Where are we
That's
going to
all I'm
find
gonna
that
say. On T-Roy TV. Hello, I just said it. Never listens.
I love you, Chanel.
Hi, Shanae. Oh, yes, and Mike. We do have comments, and individuals come on and say hello or ask questions, and so we will pop them up just like I'm getting ready to do right now on the screen, and you'll be able to read them. Hi, Shanae. I love you, girl. And thank you so much for that video. Ooh, girl, let me tell you. You're welcome. So, you have anything to say, love?
I'm sorry that it looked like I just took a nap. But I just took a nap. I woke up like 30 minutes ago.
Literally. I just let him sleep. He was cranky, so I didn't
I
know.
was not.
Worse than a woman.
If I don't get at least 5 hours of sleep a night, I do get cranky. And the last 2 nights, I've gotten a couple. Like 3 one night and 4 last night. It's my fault. We weren't doing anything. I just wanted to spend time with my husband.
Don't listen to him. He don't know what he's talking about. He's missing some hours there that he didn't sleep.
Chanel said wet dream video.
Yeah. She's talking about the video that she sent me.
Yes.
It was a good one. So, yeah, that was the whole week, and I have more that I'll tell you in a little while. So we are going to.
Damn, babe. I'm glad that you looked at me like that. She said the one in baseball cap reminded me. I wish I looked like that. Shit.
You do, honey. You do. You like anything? You look like every cheese story about. So, we are going to bring out Mr. Michael, and we are going to get started on his story.
Let's get this party started.
Well, hello, Michael. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Oh, absolutely fabulous.
Before we go into talking about the book, which is right here.
Oh, yeah. Put it up there.
I wanted to talk about some of the accolades that he got from the book.
Tell them where they can get it. That's in there.
I'm gonna let Michael go.
Okay.
These are memories come alive, not the headlines of an era. And in the end, Gregory's words form simple and Philadelphia Life Lessons for Us All. From Josh Heston, editor-in-chief of the State of the Ozarks. Ugh, he's so hot. Anyway.
He's so nice, you mean.
I mean, nice. Yeah.
See what I gotta put up
His
with?
kilt really makes it extra nice.
I want to kill it just like that, though.
I want you to have a kilt just like that. A tour de force, truly one of the best, most deeply and enjoyable, immersive books I've read all year. Ella Baroglo, editor, English teacher, Ozark native, and spiritual seeker. Gregory's writings debut. Am I still holding the book up right? Okay. Gregory's writings debut a captivating memoir which brings to life the sense of childhood and adolescence in the Ozarks. The reader is immersed in the sense of a place with sight, sound, sense lingering long after the book is closed. Lisa Martin, Arthur, attorney and paranormal researcher. This is a great book. We'll let you talk about more about it. I don't want to give it all up. And it was a read that I couldn't put down. And it has pictures, y'all.
Yes.
I know I'm
Awesome.
going to be 40 years old, but pictures mean something to me because at my age, you don't get books with pictures.
And they're actually your pictures personally, right?
That's right. Yeah, I only had to borrow one picture, and that was from one of my cousins. It's the picture of Uncle Prentice. I didn't have a good picture of him, but yeah, all the rest of those are pictures that I own.
Oh, nice. I love old pictures. Love, love, love. I got a big old box that my mama gave me, and it's huge. Tons of pictures.
That one on the cover was this picture of my dad taken in 1929. So that was the oldest picture in there. But yeah, it was really fun trying to decide which pictures helped me tell the story the best. And then as you saw, I did drawings for the ones I needed a picture for this or that. And so I did the drawings instead. So that was another.
Your own illustrations in there?
Pardon me?
You drew those illustrations yourself?
Yeah, I did all the illustrations.
Oh, cool. I like it.
It looks really
But
good.
that's why there's artists in your biography, right?
I had some good art teachers in the past.
I can't even draw a stick person. And when I say that, I mean, I try to draw a stick person that can be genderless. And then instead of going, I still just do a triangle. And so it always says pecker.
Robbie.
Yeah, that's my friend Robbie he lives in Rochester, Minnesota.
He just finished your book, and he just loves his friend even more. That's beautiful.
You would love him. He's wonderful. We belong to the same car club.
Oh, nice. So you like those old time cars, huh?
Yeah, well, it's not that old. It's a 93.
No,
A Geo Metro. Yeah, I know. Not as old as I am, though.
I remember when everyone in the 90s had a Geo Metro.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that car. And so I drive it to Minnesota every summer in August, and that's where I met Robbie. So he and his husband have this mint condition red one. It's a 92, I think, and it's the name of it's Ladybug. So anyway,
cool.
yeah, they're fun people. We bring people in from all over the country 2 or 3 times a year. Even here in Joplin, we host a meet in October, and we had close to 30 people total this last fall.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
What, it's all Metro people?
Yeah, all Metro people. People it's like a big family. We travel. People come from North Carolina, Florida, Texas, Colorado. We've even had somebody come from California to our meet here in Missouri before. So people come from all over. It says if you love those little cars, then you love to travel and go meet people that love them too.
Yeah, because like I said, back in the 90s, it was a whole thing. Like, everyone had a Metro. And then they had the storms. I love the storms. But anyway, going to go off track of the metro, but I had a few friends that had them, and they loved all their cars, but I never thought that they would have a following still. This like,
there's all kinds of there's an online forum and several Facebook pages. There's a lot of people that are restoring them.
they're good little cars. They went everywhere.
Oh yeah, they're very well built.
We had a Chevy Prism, not a
Yeah.
Geo Prism, but a Chevy Prism.
Yeah.
And it went until it blew up. We bought it for
Yeah.
$900, and it lasted us a year. And it already had an oil leaking problem. And it did. It went till, and it even got me home after it blew up. And I knew it was going to blow up soon. We already had a car. We just finished the down payment on it. We had to wait for it to get inspected. And so that day that we paid off the down payment, I was coming home from work, and I heard tick, 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 and it stopped. And luckily we lived down a hill, so I just coasted down the hill, and every so often I had to try to turn it over again just so I could have some brakes. And because coasting down a hill without brakes and a curve, this curve goes, or the hill goes like that, gets kind of scary. But it made it home. It took us home. But like I said, that was a Chevy Prism. But isn't Geo the same as, isn't Geo made by Chevy?
Yeah, the Prism was made by Toyota.
Oh, by Toyota.
It was marketed. It was a Toyota Corolla, but it was slightly different on the outside and marketed by Chevy. And before that, Chevy sold them as Geo Prisms. But yeah, those were made by Toyota. The Metros and the Trackers were Suzuki's, and that little Geo Storm was an Isuzu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was like a kind of the first world.
Geo didn't have their own little thing then, huh? It was just like
Yeah.
they bought it from everywhere and made it their own.
And see, talking cars with me is never getting off track.
Never.
I usually can't talk cars because I don't know anything about them. But these particular ones, I don't know anything about the inside. There's no stuff about liking them.
Very much, yeah. He's totally
Well,
right
you
on.
were a cool kid if you had. Well, the cool kids in my little group. Now, my little group when I was growing up, let me be real, it was the outcast group. I was a gay kid, so like, you know, the people I was with that I thought were the coolest had prisms. And they also ended up having kids at young ages too, so I don't know how cool that was in hindsight. But anyway, I digress. Now we're getting off the topic completely. That's why it's called Everything Yet Nothing.
I don't know why that is. So, this is your first book.
That's right.
And how long did it take you to write this book?
It actually did not take that long. I would say writing the book was about 4 months, but it's, I had nothing else really to do. So I had plenty of time to spend on it. Now the editing part and building it online and all the publishing, that took me from about the 1st of April until August. Because I didn't really get it, up for sale. I'm a real perfectionist, and plus I had 3 editors helping me go through it word by word and making sure that there were no mistakes and no misspellings, and I hadn't forgotten all my grammar rules. But yeah, it took longer to edit, and then but this book really is available because I wrote itself. I did my own cover design. I uploaded all the pictures. I built the book on it's called a Kindle Direct, and it's a Amazon publishing platform. And if you're capable of working with word processing programs, you can upload all of your pages and your whole story and the pictures and everything, and it helps you build the book. So but other than taking my new publicity photos, which good friend of mine did that for me. I was responsible for basically the whole thing.
Oh wow.
Wow, that's nice.
So, but I have experience with graphic arts, and I've been writing, much of my life, just nothing like this. And this started out as a short story. You were talking about Josh Heston earlier. I met Josh at one of the haunted houses that I went to, and we hit it off. We started talking or texting and such. And I I asked him. I told him that I had a short story in mind that I wanted to write, and I would send it to him to see if he would publish it in the magazine. So I wrote the story, and that turned out to be the origin story for the entire book. Because I sent the story to Josh, and he said yes, it's definitely the kind of thing he would publish, and I needed to be writing a lot more, especially stories pertaining to the Ozarks. So it started out as one story. It's the last one in the book, the one about getting chiggers. And that story started the whole process, and it set the tone. I wrote it in third person, like I was writing about someone else, but that someone else was actually me. But I didn't even realize what I was doing until the book was nearly finished. And I'd written the entire thing in third person. And I've had a couple of people ask me about it. And what we determined was that it was truly the only way that I could separate myself enough from the painful parts to be able to write about them honestly. So that, along with all the funny stuff in the book, there's some very tragic things too, and about my upbringing and my relationship with my mother. And the only way I could really write about growing up gay or being, rejected periodically, starting with at my birth, and rejected for being gay. Everything, all these things in my life that were hard on me and hard to deal with, I just couldn't write about it like I did this, I did that.
Right.
I had to write about, and I even had a different name. And it's confused some of my family members because, as it says at the beginning of the book, my dad went by the name Lloyd all of his life until he and my parents divorced. And at that point, he reinvented himself, and he started going by Phil, and Philip was his first name and Lloyd was his middle name. And they also, my grandma misspelled Lloyd with only one L.
Oh wow.
And so that's why I became Lloyd Lloyd in the book. But of course, every time Lloyd is mentioned, it's me. And some of my older family members struggled with that, and they'd text me and say, "Now who's Lloyd?" Now I know your dad was Lloyd, but who's Lloyd in this book? I say, it's me. It's still me.
I would have had to mess with them. Like, yeah, they just know my dad's story. That's why I was telling it.
So I'm writing a sequel already about my paranormal experiences and living in a haunted house.
Nice.
And I'm writing it also in the third person. So I guess all the Lloyd books are going to be written about a person. I love it one of my editors said, a person who he refers to as Lloyd, I think is what it is. So that I'll be writing about that guy named Lloyd.
That's great.
That's exciting, living in a haunted house. I mean, I know there's a lot of stigmatism against it, and we had some bad experiences with sleep paralysis, and not together, but I and my family. And my mom came. She was just in the middle of nothing, and then couldn't breathe. Felt like she suffocating. Felt hands around her neck. But like other than that, I've lived in another haunted house, and my parents' land has got a lot of stuff going on it. They live on old Indian land, Cherokee land, and I'm Native American, y'all, so I have to say Indian. I mean, they make tattoos that say Indian. Anyways, so they live on old Cherokee land, and there's a lot of folklore and everything with that. And there's this little girl that lives there, some dominating guy. But yeah, paranormal. I love paranormal stuff, so I can't wait for the next book.
Yeah. You should tell us about growing up in a small town.
Well, actually, I grew up in Wichita, which is not a small town, but
Wichita, Kansas.
yeah, Wichita, Kansas.
Oh my God, my dad's from there.
Yeah, that's where I grew up. But as you know from the book, my family was from McDonald County down here in Southwest Missouri. And I used to joke about, there's a picture of my grandparents' farm in the book, farmhouse. But I used to joke that their house made the Beverly Hillbillies' first house look nice. And, and it was covered with tar paper shingles, and there were all kinds of vermin running around, and it was that place and my aunt and uncle's place over by Anderson. They had no plumbing until I was in middle school. So there's some stories in the book about me using the outhouse, and it just the only place I ever wanted to live was down here. I didn't really want to live in Wichita. I did grow up there. My parents refused to move back to Southwest Missouri, and so I just had to wait until I could do it on my own, and that wasn't until 1982. But I bought an old house in Joplin. It's not there anymore, but it was built during the 1800s, during the early days of mining.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! I love old places like that.
And it didn't get saved by the historical society or anything?
No. The weird thing about it is the original house was just 2 rooms, and the whole thing was made of wood. Even the ceilings, the walls and the ceilings, everything was wood, red oak, and it was just 2 rooms. The lady who lived there with her husband had a mining camp out in the back behind the house, and they fed miners because in that area there were mines all around, and a lot of the miners worked independently, so some of them stayed at their mining camp, and the lady who lived there fed them. She came out the back door with food and fed the miners. Then they paid to set up a tent there.
Oh wow!
And but then I just discovered the other day that before 1905, the house had been enlarged to look like the house that I bought in 1982. So it had 2 more rooms on the front, and a kitchen in the back, and eventually a bathroom, and a lean-to porch on the back. But that was all done before 1905. I just read the fire insurance maps from 1905, and my house already looked like it did, and it already had stone all over the outside because the fire marshal noted that, because that made it easier to insure since it was a stone house.
Yeah.
But there were 3 ghosts that lived in there, and sometimes one of them we saw all the time, and that's where my husband saw his first ghost, and the only time he's ever seen one. And now he denies seeing that ghost the first time, but he definitely saw it. But yeah, that's all in my new book. It's going to be, but the new book is going to be about me, but my paranormal experiences I had in that house and in other places, experiences with angels, experiences of other people that were unexplainable kind of things that I know about, that I'm going to write about. So it's going to be a combination of things, but all stories that have some otherworldliness to them.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, where can people find your book?
Well, right now, Amazon is the best place to get it. And you either type in my name into just Amazon search engine, or the name of the book, Lloyd, Tender Boy in a Rugged Land. You type that in and it'll come up and you can order it on Amazon. If you live in southwestern Missouri, you can also buy the book in Anderson at a place called Rags to Riches. There's a table there that's a fundraiser for the Historical Society. They've got copies there. There are copies at the Historical Society, because I worked with them closely. And one of the chair of their board wrote one of the introductory statements in the front of the book too. So I wanted to get them involved, and so they're selling the book there in their little bookstore. In Joplin, it's for sale at our independent cinema, which is called Bookhouse Cinema. They have copies there. But the easiest way to get it is just order it on Amazon. And hopefully I'll be back in your area one of these days to set up another table somewhere and
Oh yeah,
pull some more
definitely.
books. Yeah, that's where I met you guys, was at the festival.
Very happy that we did too. I love meeting new individuals, especially whenever they're from, I say, our side of the family.
Yeah.
It's hard to find really good people, and you're a really good person, and your story is just absolutely out of this world. I love it.
Well, I know you told me to think about some things that were important to me to talk about. And the main thing is I'm 68 years old, and I had to wait until basically 68 years old to finally become fully realized and fully accepting of myself, in that I will no longer be a part of anything that does not embrace me exactly the way I am.
Absolutely.
And, I worked for a church for, well, over 20 years. And the last time, 12 years as a music director. But basically, I had to keep the fact, and everybody knew I was gay, pretty much. Everybody knew that my husband and I were a couple. But it was like one of those things that people just didn't talk about. But when it came to getting married, that was a whole other ball game. And so I finally quit last fall when we had a new boss, and I had to go back to the point where I couldn't be honest about what was going on in my life. And since then, I've actually left the church as well, because I'm not going to take part in anything anymore that does not embrace me. I'm not going to embrace
Absolutely.
anything else that doesn't embrace me
Absolutely.
exactly as I am.
Yep. The best thing that we can do. Right there.
So that's kind of where I am right now. I've been, we
I'm
have
proud of you for that, and I am sorry that it took so long, but I am proud of you for that.
Yes.
yeah.
That's a big step. And just accepting yourself. I mean, that's a lot.
And, I taught school for 33 years, and I was never able to be completely open
Right.
in teaching, especially elementary school.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I know that nowadays, I have a good friend who decided to become a teacher after he retired from AT&T, and I couldn't. He was open, married, teaching third armpit of a city in Texas, and never got any grief about it at all.
Awesome.
And I thought, how wonderful that
Yes.
some places have changed. It's not that way everywhere.
No.
I still don't think that it'd be that way around here, unfortunately.
Probably not. Or
But
here
I
either.
follow a couple of openly gay teachers. One's a Head Start preschool teacher. One's a second grade teacher. They're on TikToks, and they get on there and talk about, their life as a teacher, and it's fun. To, I mean,
Yeah.
I commend you guys because let me tell you, I never wanted kids. We talked about this earlier. People think that I love kids because I'm good with my kids and my family's kids. I mean, by my kids, I mean my family and friends' kids. And I'm not even good with some of my friends' kids. There's some of my friends' kids that when they have the kids, I'm like, so is this your weekend with the kids or without? And if they say without, then we're all for it. Hey, let's hang out. If they say with, I'm like, all right, well, we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah.
So to be able to put up with other people's kids, teach them something, and put an impact on their lives, because teachers do. To this day, one of my security questions is one of my teachers from school, from 6th grade to 11th grade. And so, teachers impact kids' lives in a positive or a negative way. And I just want to give props out to all you teachers out there, including you, that had to deal with them pain in the ass kids.
Yes. And especially when it comes to acceptance, like I know some teachers in different towns are trying to push acceptance of all, instead of like not accepting and trying to save the fighting from, and there's ways of doing that to where it's not degrading and it's not in any way, but, it's a positive, stop all the fighting and fussing and arguing and bullying.
Well, I loved my job. I mean, I really did. And I had a great time doing it. I noticed on the people watching, the mother of one of my former students is watching right now. So, which I think that's great. And it's now that I'm at this point in my career where I don't have to hide anything.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced any negativity from anybody. A lot of my former students follow me on Facebook, and I keep up with them. They bring their kids trick or treating. They bring their kids to trick or treat at our house, and
Nice.
so it's like and Joplin's not that big that you can keep track of those people, and I love it. I love seeing their kids and.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
You guys are big enough to have a pride event, though.
We have a huge pride event.
I know, right? We're gonna come this coming up here for sure.
Good.
T-Roy TV will be there.
Yeah, it's amazing. I went to one, maybe my first one, maybe 10 years ago, and seeing the difference in what we have today. In fact, I'm going to volunteer to be on the committee. I had such a good time. So
Yeah.
I noticed that you posted in the LGBT community here on Facebook, and we also have a JOMO EQ group here. We have a lot of young people who are. Several of them have been thrown away by their families, and we have a number of trans folks that are in the group. It's a great support group. They have a meeting once a month. So, when I look back in fact, that belonging to that group helped me so much to get to the point where I was ready to just become who I was supposed to be all along.
Yes, absolutely.
And I realized that I couldn't be an example to young people that things get better if I was still doing the same crap I was doing in order to keep a job for 50 years.
Yeah.
So I had to get to a point where I could just walk away from it. But we have a great support group. And compared to Joplin of 1982, I would have never believed that, that we would have the kind of support we have here. When I first moved here, there were people picketing down at the gay bar because they thought everybody had HIV, and
Oh yeah.
and it just was just terrible, stupid. And
Yeah,
of course, they
right.
misspelled their posters. So as a teacher, I was judging them anyway.
Well, they only used one G, didn't they?
What's that?
They only used one G, didn't they?
Oh no, it was and really bad grammar. It really was. The one I remember the most was "Queers Got Bad Blood," and there was some guy marching around down on Main Street holding that poster up, and it ended up in the newspaper.
Really?
Could you be any more redneck? Could you not show your any harder?
What do you remember from English class? Did you write that sentence properly?
Now, when I grew up half my life in Missouri, half my life in Oklahoma, and the later part of my adolescence, I wanted to be a grammar teacher. Like, I was all about, I am not going to have this hick accent from Oklahoma, so I can speak properly and blah 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 blah. Right. So then, fast forward to I'm 24 because we got together when I was 23, and then the first year is all nicey, but then after that you get down to the nitty gritty. So I get told, you're not a freaking English teacher and you're not going to correct me. So I become, you can't beat them, join them. I still hate double negatives and I still punctuate, except when I'm texting. Like in a period.
He would drive me crazy.
But like if I'm really trying to like write something out, I make sure I use proper punctuation. But yeah, I learned like 16 years ago that people don't like it when you correct them all the time.
No.
Well, I'm a
especially
hillbilly.
living where we live.
I'm a hillbilly, honey, and all hillbillies have their own slang. And so whenever I talk, it was like all the time. And I'm like, if you don't shut up and stop that, I'm gonna ground you and put you in a corner. And it's like, all right, sorry, babe.
Kevin, don't feel bad. I use capital letters and punctuation in all of my texts. Everything that I write, I can't, and I still put a space after a period, even in my texts. It's like, I can't give up those habits. And I've got spell check going on everything. I'm a good speller, but sometimes I get carried away typing too fast. So yeah, I don't put anything out there that's not right.
Right.
You have a reputation to uphold.
Right.
And phones don't know.
Could you imagine? Now, Mr. Gregory, I saw this Facebook post and it was a paragraph with nothing. No periods, no commas, no capital letters. It was all just one run-on sentence.
Not even spaces.
Lowercase.
Now, I am currently into studying this new vernacular that young people are apparently using, studying words like bussin' and the little, when you see FR at the end of a sentence, I thought, what is that? So I'm always learning. And now I can use,
right?
Yeah, for real. And
really? I thought it was friend.
No, it's well, I find that kind of stuff so amusing, but it also gives a person a chance to educate themselves. And a 68-year-old man should not be writing words like bussin' or for real, but it keeps me young.
About tables, huh?
It keeps me young, and I don't know. It's a way to continue to be a lifelong learner. It's like everything you learn doesn't have to be theory or something. It can be, what are they saying in that sentence?
Yeah,
so,
right.
What even are they saying?
I'm a firm believer of if you keep an open mind, you learn something new every day, no matter how old you are.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's
so
some
we
kids.
are 45 minutes in, so it is time for a commercial. I'm going to go ahead and do both commercials. We got WLFE commercial, and then we've got Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Yeah, Nashville Roadhouse Live.
So check them out on the 13th, guys. Nashville
Yes.
Roadhouse Live. It's on a Tuesday. They're doing a free show. They're doing the taping for their Nashville Roadhouse Live television show on Roku and many other channels. So it's a free show. It's happening from 12 till they close, and it's worth coming out. It's on Highway 76 behind
Highway 76 behind Olive Garden and IHOP. And you can also look it up on NashvilleRoadhouseLive.com. And Stevie Lee Woods with Nashville Roadhouse Live Band are always there Friday and Saturday night. And we also do karaoke starting at 10. The show starts at 8 o'clock. And they have a lot of like free days just to show their appreciation to the ones that do come and watch. So you don't always have to pay. So call and check it out before you come, and that'll give you a better idea on how much it is and what's going on.
You can also follow the page on Nashville Roadhouse Live at Facebook.com.
And you can also follow it on T-Row TV, Everything Nothin without the G's on Facebook pages. And you can also tune in to Stevie Lee Woods on Facebook and Nashville Roadhouse Live Facebook page.
And here's a message from our
After these
sponsor.
messages.
And we're back. Sorry, I was talking about hair. Cheever's not back yet, so welcome back. I forget how short that one is, that last one. And so I'm like, well, let's braid this part here. Let's do this. My hairstylist is here too. / Big Ass / T-Roy's personal assistant. So she wears a lot of hats. Yeah, none at all. So
Take care of you next spring.
anyways, what were we talking about now?
I'm back.
Finally, the host. I don't know what to do without him here.
So it is coming close to the end. I always ask my guests if there was one thing that you can check somebody on, like not hundreds, not thousands, possibly millions of people all over the world repeatedly, because my shows are always repeated. You can watch them anytime. You don't have to watch them tonight. You can go on my page, and you can also go on WLFE-DB.com. And every show that I've done is on there, so you can rewatch it and tell everybody else to go and watch it again. So
also, wherever you get your podcast on Spotify, iHeartMusic,
yes,
iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Google Podcasts. It'll be uploaded to that as well. And with all those.
And we are also a part of, is it Safe Flight?
Safe Space on WLFE-DB.com. So if you are ever feeling some sort of way, and we all deal with depression, anxiety, and mental illness, you can go to WLFE-DB.com, and there are things to do. I just blanked.
Things to do, and
resources.
There are resources for every every non-positive thing out there health-wise. If you are a child that is pushed away, definitely get a hold of somebody, talk to somebody. Don't take your own lives, because we have way too many younger ones that are doing that just because of somebody else's ignorance. And if you are watching this right now and you are one of them, please reach out. 911. Talk to your friend. Talk to a family member. 899. You can come on T-Roy TV Facebook page. Look me up. Look him up. We're always there for anybody and everybody that is just needing somebody to talk to. There are other resources out there. Definitely look and check those out. And even though you may not be young, there's other individuals that are having a hard time too that need to reach out and possibly, and sometimes we need to help each other out. So don't always think that you're in it alone, because you're not. You're not in it alone. And if you reach out, then you may find somebody that's in it with you.
Back to Michael.
Oh. So
let's get off our soapbox here.
Yeah. And so one thing in the world, check somebody that you want to change. I like to open eyes and change minds. That's what my show is all about. What is that one thing that you would want somebody to change, open their eyes, and change their mind about?
Well, that's really easy. When you first asked me about that a couple of months ago, I thought, oh, what do I say? But, watching this midterm election and all of the ugliness that happened, and especially with the evangelical people that seem to want to try to take over the country,
Yeah.
and to base this is, I guess this goes out to anybody who bases their opinion of other people on what they read in the Bible, or whatever their religion tells them is right or wrong. Something has been showing up repeatedly on Twitter and Facebook, and I can't exactly quote it word for word because sometimes it's a little different, but basically it is, people want to say we can disagree, or we can agree to disagree. We can have different viewpoints, but we can still be friends. Well, I'm sorry. And the way I look at that now is, no, if your belief, you're entitled to whatever belief you want to have,
Absolutely.
but if your belief makes my life harder, or you're judging me based on your beliefs, then you just need to stop, because that's absolutely the wrong way to look at it. And people have to just quit doing that.
Absolutely. And that happens a lot. I always say we love going to Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And I love it down there because the energy is so strong with just acceptance. It's crazy.
Have you been?
Oh, yeah. We've been there many, many times. And we used to want to live there, of course, move there, because that happens to me whenever we go visit someplace. Oh, we have to move here if it's really nice. But yeah, that Eureka Springs is one of my favorite places.
Yes.
And it's very accepting there.
Very.
But it's like a pocket that doesn't exist anywhere around it.
No,
but if you go 40 miles away and you're at like the Klan headquarters, and there's,
I know, that's so true, guys. They're so many clan members in Arkansas.
Eureka Springs is a bright light in the middle of all of that.
It is. It really is. And I always say that I want businesses here to feel like what you feel like when you go into a business there. No matter what they believe, you do. That's none of your business. But they're not going to push it down your throat. You know, they're in there to show you enough respect to want your money given to them, because that's what small businesses or businesses alone, that's what they're about. And some don't realize that if you are any kind of negative towards anybody, that negativity is going to be there. And they don't realize that. You know, I can walk in somewhere as being an empath, and I can feel that energy like you would not believe. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going in here. I'm turning around and walking out, just because I don't have to tolerate that stuff, and I'm not going to tolerate that stuff. You know, I'm here to live my life without any strings, without any judgment, and I don't really care to be judged because I've been judged all my life. So, you know, I want to have people see me and see my show and see individuals like yourself. We are living our life. We are accepted of ourselves. We love ourselves. We think we are beautiful, not only on the inside, but the outside as well. And we have that energy because we do accept ourselves. And the more that we accept ourselves in this world, the better energy we're going to give off. And that's what we need. You know, you got to overlook the hatred. You got to overlook the judgment. There is no space in this world for any of that bullshit. Never. You know, so check yourselves before you go and open your mouth towards anybody else. Because not only are you the one judging when you are judging somebody else, but you are the hater that is hating upon somebody else. And even though you may not know that, I hope you watch this, and I hope you know it now. And so, with that said, I'm like going on and on. Whatever, this is a topic that really touches my heart, and so I get in it. I don't even try. I get in it, and you know, I try to throw it out there because it's just, I want so much of a difference in this world for the good. It's just crazy, you know. And I'm glad that you came on my platform, my show, to tell your story, because you are a beautiful individual on the inside and out. And I'm so very proud of you for doing and being who you are today and who you have been in the past.
And thank you for sharing that with
you
the
have
world.
come through so much in your life that has judged you and put you down and mistreated you, and just there's so much hatred. And for you to survive all that and realize no matter how old you are, you have accepted yourself and you do love yourself today. And that's all that matters. And I'm so proud that you have made that, and you have made this book. This book is going to be changing thousands of people's opinions, lives, and the way that they look at this world. And that is a beautiful thing. And I thank you for that.
Thank you.
And you're very welcome.
And Kim Sparks Jones says that she's proud to be your friend, Michael.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
Awesome. Well, we have come to the end of the show.
Let's recap on where to get your book at. I have it on the comments, but I want you to go ahead and recap to where we can get your book. All 3 places.
So you can get it on Amazon. If you live in McDonald County, you can go to the Historical Museum in Pineville. They have a little bookstore in there. Or you can go to Rags to Riches in Anderson. They have a table. If you're in Joplin, they are selling them at Bookhouse Cinema, which if you've never been there, that is the coolest place in Joplin. So they show independent films, and they have an excellent restaurant. I did a reading there and a reception to launch the book, and it was really, really cool.
Oh, wow. That would have been
That
awesome.
would be awesome. We have got to make it up there, and we will soon. So when we do, we're gonna be all calling you. We're all like, "Hey,
That's
Michael,
Yeah.
we're in town."
That's good.
So yes, thank you so much for coming on. I can't wait to see you again. We do recap on shows, and you never know. Your saga of your story just may be on here. You never know.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and I hope you have a wonderful night. And we so appreciate every bit of you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
So there you have it. A young man's life that has turned into be a beautiful grown-up of a gentleman. So definitely get this book and read it. It will change your life. It'll change your thought. It'll change your views on so many things. You can be whoever you want to be. Just don't worry about anybody else because they ain't worrying about you. And don't try to live anybody else's life because they're not trying to live your life. Stay out of the bedroom because we don't want you there. And if we do, you're going to be there. Okay? So.
If we do, it's because you asked.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely go to Joplin because that is the place to be for LGBT and acceptors of us. Acceptors. Oh my god, it's a T-Roy slang. Acceptors. So be a rainbow and help somebody else be a rainbow and be blessed in every way possible. Love each other. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for joining T-Roy and a special guest here on Everythin Yet Nothin. Tune in next Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central for another episode you won't want to miss. Until next time, be a rainbow in someone's life. Like and follow us on Facebook at WLFE DB Radio.
I'm telling you, honey, you're losing your hair, and the best way to do the whole hair
Oh,
thing,
bye, everybody.
super glue it to your head.